The climb of the silent mountain. Once, in a quiet village nestled between towering peaks, there lived a young man named Jordan. He was known for his quiet determination, though many in the village saw him as just another dreamer. Every day, as the sun sank behind the jagged edges of the silent mountain, Jordan would sit by the village's small lake, staring up at the peak, which was often hidden behind clouds. It was said that no one had ever reached the summit. Many had tried, but all returned defeated by the mountain's harshness. Jordan had heard the stories, tales of those who tried and failed, their spirits crushed by the wind, the sheer cliffs, and the unrelenting cold. But despite the warnings, something within him stirred. He wasn't just curious, he felt a deeper pull, as if the mountain itself was challenging him, urging him to prove that success wasn't about avoiding failure, it was about persistence, no matter how hard the journey. One crisp morning, Jordan stood at the foot of the silent mountain, his heart racing with a mixture of excitement and doubt. His friends had laughed when he told them of his plans. "You're not strong enough, Jordan," they said. "The mountain's too harsh. It will break you." But Jordan, unwilling to be swayed by their doubts, took a deep breath and began his ascent. Now, before we finish our story, if you like our video, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. The first day was straightforward. The path was clear, the air fresh, and the view from the lower slopes stunning. Jordan felt invincible, imagining himself at the summit, standing tall and triumphant. But the next day, the mountain showed its true nature. The weather turned cold, and thick clouds began to roll in. The path grew steeper, the rocks more treacherous. The wind howled through the trees, pushing him back with every step. Jordan stumbled, his footing slipping on the icy rocks, and his body ached with the strain. That night, as he huddled beneath a small shelter, Jordan thought about turning back. The mountain felt endless, its challenges overwhelming. The idea of returning to the warmth of the village where people's doubts had once seemed like just noise, now seemed so much easier. But as he stared into the dark sky, something inside him shifted. What if success isn't about avoiding the struggle? What if it's about facing it with persistence? The next morning, Jordan's resolve hardened. He would keep moving forward, one step at a time. The climb was slow, exhausting, and at times seemingly impossible. But with each day that passed, Jordan learned to embrace the struggle. He discovered that it wasn't about conquering the mountain in one grand gesture. It was about finding the strength to keep going, no matter how small the progress seemed. There were moments when the mountain seemed to mock him. The winds would tear at his clothes, the cold would bite at his bones, and the steep slopes would feel like an insurmountable wall. But every time Jordan faltered, he got back up. Every time the path seemed blocked, he found a way to push forward, no matter how slowly. He realized that success was not found in the absence of challenges, but in the courage to keep moving despite them. Weeks passed, and Jordan climbed higher and higher. Each day, the air grew thinner and the climb became more grueling. But with each step, the mountain began to reveal its beauty, a hidden world of frost-covered trees, snow-capped peaks, and a silence that felt like a reward for his persistence. And then one morning, after what felt like an eternity of struggle, Jordan reached the summit. Standing at the top, he gazed out over the land below. The view was breathtaking, but it was not the view that filled him with pride. As he looked around, he realized that the true reward wasn't the summit. It was the journey. It was the countless moments when he had wanted to give up, but chose not to. It was the persistence, the refusal to be broken by the mountain's challenges that had made this climb worthwhile. Jordan descended the mountain with a quiet satisfaction. He knew now that success wasn't about reaching the top or avoiding failure. It was about the strength to keep going when everything seemed against you. The mountain had not been his enemy. It had been his teacher, showing him that persistence is the truest form of success. And when he returned to the village, he was no longer just a dreamer. He was someone who had proven to himself that the only true limit is the one you place on yourself. And as he looked back at the silent mountain, Jordan knew that no matter where his journey took him next, he had learned the most important lesson of all. The real success lies in the persistence to rise after each fall.